listening to the NPH Hour on News Talk Saga 960 AM. Jason Thom here, bringing you interviews related to anything and everything related to Canadian basketball. A little later, you'll be hearing a story about the Raptors 905, while their parent club, the Toronto Raptors, are really struggling this season through a bunch of man games lost due to injuries and health and safety protocols due to COVID-19. One glaring spot they have needed filled all season long was in the front court, and it seems like they have found their answer with Canadian-born center Khem Birch, a player that left home at the age of 15 to chase his basketball dreams, a dream that was supported by his parents, including his mother, Wendy Sparks, who really had to learn on the fly what it meant to have a child that was a highly sought-after high school recruit due to his raw natural talents, but also had to take a winding path to get his way into the NBA. Wendy is now sharing much of her trials and tribulations along with those faced by other mothers of NBA players on her podcast, Courtside Mums. And really, she's on her way to becoming the Oprah of basketball podcasts because she gets some amazing guests, the mothers of Chris Paul, Fred VanVleet, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, just to name a few. Outside of the star power, for you parents out there, when you have young kids that want to chase their dreams to the highest level, I cannot recommend this podcast enough. Some really good stories, some great advice, and it's just a great listen. Now, with her son Khem playing for the Raptors and set to play a big role for the senior men's national team as they attempt to qualify for the Olympics, I wanted to get Wendy on here to talk about the journey they went on as a family and how it all ended up coming back full circle to Canada's NBA team. Khem Birch, the newest member of the Toronto Raptors. And after the path that your son, Wendy Sparks, has walked over the last decade, it must be pretty amazing to kind of hear that and to know that he's a member of the Toronto Raptors.
You have no idea. Oh my gosh. First of all, Khem is very grateful for the opportunities that he's had in the past with playing overseas in Turkey and then Greece, and then able to come to the US and play for the Magic for 3.5 years. But there's nothing better or nothing more, I don't know what word to say, you know what I mean? I guess I want to say proud, you know what I mean? Yep. For playing for your country's one and only pro basketball team.
And not only that, it's such a perfect fit with the makeup of this Raptors squad now. You know, guys that have went undrafted, under recruited, you know, we all know the Fred VanVleet story. And then you throw in Chris Boucher from Montreal, again, undrafted, had to work his way through the G League. And you know, what will it do for kids in Khem's neighborhood to see the NBA's first ever all Montreal starting front court and playing for the Raptors? Like, I know, you know, you grew up in Montreal. So what would that mean to that community there?
It means a lot because it shows the kids that hard work will get you far. We actually host camps, and the purpose of hosting the camps is really to show the kids that, you know what, hey, I'm just like you. And we did camps in 2018, 2019. We started in Montreal, then Nova Scotia, and then added Ottawa. And Khem was really engaged with the kids, where a lot of times, a lot of players will host camps and they'll come in doing a little appearance here or there. Where Khem would get his shoes on and just get in there with the kids from the beginning until the end of the camp. And just to show that, you know, hey, I'm a normal guy. And I was just like you. I was your age, you know what I mean? I was 6 and I was playing basketball. And then, well, later on he quit and then went back, but that's a whole other story. But his whole point is to let them know that, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to push. If you really want something, then just go ahead and do it. So I think going back to the children, it's really, really important. Like, don't be afraid to, like, you know what I mean? If you have this dream to do something, do not be afraid. Go ahead and do it. And that's exactly what Khem wants the kids in Montreal or anywhere to be a part of.
I think that's the beautiful thing that I saw, because when I met you at the McDonald's All-American game 10 years ago, you know, Khem was probably the most unsure player in that game. and we all knew, what he could do and what he could be. I think everybody knew that he was an NBA talent, and you knew that. Ends up going to the G League, undrafted, Turkey, and then Greece, but he's playing for Olympiacos in Greece, right? And for people out there, I mean, that is one of the best jobs that you can get outside of the NBA when it comes to basketball. And he leaves a guaranteed contract to take a non-guaranteed deal with the Orlando Magic.
His dream was always to play in the NBA, always. So he went undrafted in 2014. He ended up in the G League. He ended up, like you said, going to Turkey and then going to Greece. And then here he has his 2-year contract with Greece. And then all of a sudden, the Magic call. Well, remember, like I said from the beginning, his dream was to play for the league in the NBA. He understood that it wasn't the end all and be all of basketball because he's living proof. He played overseas, and basketball there is amazing. But he still wanted to play in the league. He had an opportunity and he was willing to take that risk because he knew that he had enough talent that if it didn't work with the Magic, he knew that he can go back overseas or maybe another team. So he just had to have faith. And I was so proud of him because he had faith in himself to do it. He would always call and say, okay, Mom, what do you think? This is what I'd like to do, but what do you think? And I'll always give him my opinion, but I'll always let him know, understand, I'm just giving you my opinion. It's not a decision. This is you. This is your career. You have to make a decision of what you want and what you think is best, and never be afraid. Just go by your gut. If you feel this is what you want to do, then go ahead and exercise, and don't feel bad if you fail at this because you tried. There's other teams. There's other ways that you can get to do what you want to do.
Representing Canada, I know he was playing for Canada back in 2010 in the age group level as well. And I know how much pride he takes in that. And again, does that go back to kind of the Montreal roots as well? Because he's not only representing his country, but representing the city of Montreal, often overlooked, under recruited, just generally speaking. And when it comes to the national team, there's been always that feeling that Montreal didn't get their fair shake in years gone by of having players on that team. How important is it for Khem to represent the red and white in Canada?
Oh my goodness, very, very important to him. And just like you said, Montreal especially it's so underrated. There's so much good talent there, so much good programs. I mean, quite a few, and yet these players just fall under the radar. And I mean, right now, actually, we have, just say, for example, Karim Mane, who went to the Magic. And that was amazing for Khem because he was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Montreal, you know what I mean? That was that for him. So he was excited. And now here he's back in Canada. And now he's playing with Chris Boucher and he's representing red and white. So for him, that's very important because he's representing his country on 2 teams. Now he can showcase what Canadians are all about. And red and white will always be our colors. And I was laughing about that the other day because our colors for our camp is blue, white, and silver. So I was like, I think we have to change the logo.
I know how much of a person of faith you are, and to understand the path that Khem walked to get here. I know he wouldn't change a thing. You probably wouldn't change a thing. And I think it just makes it that much sweeter that he's found his way to the Raptors and, representing, a city like Montreal and a country like Canada that, from the basketball side, we're never given anything anyways. So I think your son really is, a personification of what we're all about. And I know Raptor fans were super excited and you did a great job. And, thank you for taking the time here today. And Courtside Mums going to be blowing up. I know you got some great guests on there. I may have to hit you up on your black book at some point, to try to get some on here. But, I could have got Khem on the show, but I wanted to get Wendy Sparks, Khem Birch's mother. So
thank you.
Thank you so much. The Courtside Mums podcast, make sure you listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. And after this short break, we're going to switch from the Raptors to the Raptors 905. Courtney Charles joins me on the NPH Hour here on News Talk Saga 960 AM.